It's nice to meet you.
Yes, nice to meet you.
Happy release day. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling amazing.
That's good.
It's get it out. So
Mhm.
yeah.
So before we start with the super serious questions, I'm just gonna ask you something simple. So who would you say is your favorite musician and why?
Favorite musician is definitely John Bellion. Not sure if you heard of him, but um he does it all really. He's a producer, singer, songwriter. He's done a lot of writing for like people like Eminem and Rihanna, Justin Bieber recently, Miley Cyrus too.
Mhm.
And then his work is like a lot of like dance. Um, He has some hip hop in there, like alternative. Yeah, he does a lot of that. Definitely my inspiration for sure.
That's cool. So for any of our readers who are discovering you and your work for the first time, how would you like to introduce yourself?
My name is Caramel. I am an alternative pop singer, songwriter, producer. I I like to say my genre is limitless. I feel like I can produce anything, and I feel like this song that I released today, and also my project Road Trip that's coming up soon,
Mhm.
um, is in like that alternative dance, like pop genre. But I'm hoping to do more soon.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And what would you say is the inspiration behind your artist name, Caramel?
I think mostly because my production I would describe as like smooth, and then also my skin tone is like caramel kind of color.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, yeah, that's honestly the main
Yeah.
reason.
That's
Yeah,
definitely I when your manager sent over the audio files, I listened to it before release. That's definitely the vibe I was getting from the song. It's very smooth. I love it. It's good.
thank you. I
You're
appreciate
welcome. So when did you first realize you wanted to start making music?
it. I first realized, well, I've been doing music forever. I started playing piano when I was 3 years old. I studied classical, and then I stopped for during high school, my first year of high school, because it was just like a lot of practice, and I just wasn't into doing that like type of intensive like classical work anymore. And
Mhm.
so then I started going on GarageBand, and GarageBand kind of got me the feeling like I wanted to produce and make my own music. And also my brother from another mother, Weatherspoon, who's a poet, we just grew as like artists together. So that's another one. Yeah.
And what is the central theme of your upcoming album Road Trip in February?
The essential theme is growth, honestly. I think a big part of it was like transitioning into high school,
Hmm.
college rather,
Yeah.
transitioning to college, and like the drive there with my mom. Like my mom and I have a very complicated relationship, so the drive there was a big inspiration. Just kind of like unpacking everything we've been through. There's romance, there's heartbreak. Yeah, just growth as a coming of age person. Like yeah.
Yeah. So everyone interprets music differently, of course. So how would you imagine your audience to feel when listening to this song specifically? Like, what feelings would you do you want to evoke in the listeners?
That's a good question. Um, I would say the feeling of wanting to like get up and move forward and not look behind you, uh,
Yeah.
and unless it's like to see how far you've come.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, just that's the whole gone by the morning. Just leave behind all toxicity, all like anything, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that's the feeling I
But
want from.
yeah, you put it perfectly. I feel like that's definitely very characteristic of people in this generation and
Yeah.
that feeling. Yeah. So what prompted you to write this song?
So I wrote this summer, I believe. Was it last summer? I kind of forgot. I think it was the summer of 2021.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, summer of 2021. Again, that's like just the my transition into college,
Yeah.
because that's the summer, last time I was gonna be like home for a long period of time, because going home is so much different now because just college. I'm like in college,
Yeah.
so like I know you know that too. So
Hmm.
it's going
Yeah.
back. It's so much different. It's weird, and so I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, this is the last time I'm gonna really be able to like put down my experience in Cleveland, where I'm from.
Mhm.
And so yeah,
Yeah.
that's
And
one.
you're a sophomore in college, correct?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so you were class of 2020 for high school.
yeah. No,
Yeah.
exactly.
So yeah, the pandemic, that was very hard for seniors,
It
especially
was.
here.
It
Yeah.
was.
So what makes this song different from the others you've made?
I think it incorporates a lot of different like genres. I think there's a lot of pop in there,
Mm,
like alternative, and then at the end I introduce like sort of Afro pop like groove that I think transitions really smoothly and works with kind of the whole theme of the song. My co-writer Brian Kazanduka like put this perfectly. Like the the first half of the song is like the um, acceptance of grief,
mm,
like of growth, and then the second half is like more like the anger kind of.
yeah.
I think that mix of like those different feelings makes it different.
Hmm. And what kind of gear do you use to record your music?
So I have a MIDI keyboard, Arturia, and then I use Soundtrap, which is um, honestly like a really low key like software site.
Mm,
A lot of producers use like Logic or FL Studio or
mm,
something like that. But I started on Soundtrap after GarageBand, and it was really simple. It's honestly limited compared to those, but with my like music theory and like the way I know how to like make a song, I feel like it works a lot. Then I use a like simple condenser mic. Then I have two speaker monitors all in my dorm room, and that's basically all I need. And then a desktop.
yeah.
So yeah,
So if you could collaborate with any musician, who would it be and why?
Don Bellaine's definitely one,
Yeah.
like, for sure. Jacob Collier is another. Um, it's incredible. He recently went on tour and did a choir audience and just directed a like audience like, and the audience was the performance, and that was incredible.
Mm,
So I'd say either one of those two.
mm.
That's one I
Okay.
think could collaborate. Yeah.
So what would you also say is your dream record label that you would like to sign with?
I would say I want to be with J. Cole, but
I love Dreamville. Yeah.
yeah, Dreamville is like an amazing record label. I feel like my core genre, like as much as I can go back and forth, is not rap or R&B. I think those are like big inspirations from like music I listen to.
Hmm.
Um, but that's a great question. Atlantic is always a big one. Like, that's where all the like huge artists are.
Mhm.
Yeah, those are two off the dome, but I'd have to think about that more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so I noticed in like the one sheet that your manager sent me, it said that you believe we're all travelers and that you write music to help guide yourself and others to their final destination. Can you describe this concept to me?
Yeah, no, for sure. Coming to college, obviously, I think a lot of people, like including myself, feel like, okay, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna study? Um, am I gonna find like love? Am I gonna like figure out who I am? And to me, that feels like a wanderer, like a traveler. My first EP that I released,
Hmm.
2021, is named Traveler,
Hmm.
and that's kind of like my whole feel. Like I feel like traveler, wanderer, road trip, like
Hmm.
destination, growth guide, and I feel like that's that's what I want like my brand to be.
Hmm.
Um, like expression. I feel like a traveler. I'm figuring shit out.
Yeah.
I want,
Yeah.
yeah.
Everyone's figuring out what they want to do now. And I listened to the EP as well. I really like the Traveler interlude. It's really
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome. So, what do you do outside of music, or is that like mainly what you do in college?
I dive. I'm a springboard diver.
Oh.
At BC. I recently got out of lift, so I still have like my BC gear on.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I'm a Division 1 springboard diver. That's a big one. Music, diving. I draw sometimes, actually.
That's cool. Yeah. So,
I
how
like
was
doodling.
the, yeah, I wanted to ask about the cover art for Gone by the Morning. Like, how was
Yes,
that process?
yes. Um, My roommate last year, freshman year, Benjamin Burke, is a photographer and a digital artist,
Mm-hmm.
and he made that. We took some pictures like near Boston College, and we based that. I actually made the road trip album cover first with my brother Pedro,
Mm-hmm.
who's now a freshman at NYU. Amazing artist, amazing digital, like photography, everything in there. Um, and those like collage words on top,
Mm-hmm.
wanted to keep that same like energy. And so we just did that for Gone by the Morning too.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, just kind of matched that vibe. And
Yeah, it really
yeah,
complements the song.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think so too. Thank you.
Um, so what was the first venue you performed at, and how was that experience?
First venue is the Bop Stop
Mm-hmm.
at like near Ohio City in Cleveland. It's really famous jazz venue.
Mm-hmm.
And I performed with an amazing like Cleveland curator named Temple of Passions. She posted something on her Instagram, which Weatherspoon, who I mentioned earlier,
Mm-hmm.
performed. That was actually their first performance as well with Temple of Passions.
Yeah.
And so we ended up connecting, and I was able to perform Traveler there. And yeah, it was so great.
Mm-hmm.
It was the first time I got paid for performing too, which was great.
That's really
Yeah.
rewarding. Yeah. Were you very anxious during that
Oh
performance?
God. Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Um, so you've been playing the classical piano for 10 years, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. A little over 10 years.
So has that given you an advantage in writing your songs?
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
I usually start all of my songs with my piano. I was never the greatest writer,
Hmm.
so I always like all of my inspiration came from melodies, drums, and the lyrics came usually come after.
Hmm.
So yeah, piano definitely helps, like theory.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you know when a song is like completed, when you decide that it's finished and you don't really want to add anything else to it?
That's a great question. Sometimes I have no idea. Sometimes I just need other like a third person to come in because I'm constantly going in like, oh, I hear this,
Yeah.
like I want something finished. Like I'm a perfectionist. It takes so long for me to make something that I want to put out. Like Traveler took so long. Oh my goodness. I started that 2020, I think.
Mm.
It just took me so long to like want to like finish all these songs. But luckily Road Trip was a little quicker,
Hmm.
which was good. And I don't know. I take a break from it. I take a break from the music and come back, listen to a bunch of other types of music,
Mm.
and then usually I know just if there's another instrument or volume switches or just other things. Yeah.
Yeah. So what would you say is like your favorite song at the moment?
My roommate recently sent me a song. Um, Forgot the artist's name, but I've really been into like Afro beats lately.
Mhm.
The name of the song is Gone Girl. I don't know how to pronounce it. Abong JR.
Oh, okay.
It's it's an experience.
Mhm. I'll
I love
definitely
it.
do it, yeah. Um, so what can we expect to see from you in the future as an artist?
Lots of performances, lots of events. I'm actually curating an event at BC that's happening for
Mhm.
Black History Month.
Okay.
It's a spoken word showcase and then a music showcase with like Black led a cappella groups, like a drum circle, and I'll be performing as well at Boston College. So things like that. More
Mhm.
music, of course. Um, Weatherspoon and I will be back in Cleveland this coming summer, so more work from that will be coming too. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Right.
that's in the near future.
So I remember your manager was saying how like you really like to make music and especially like support the Black community. And since going to college, do you feel like you have more of an impact now, like more of an influence? And how is that experience?
Yes, definitely. Freshman year, I feel like it took me a long time to get to feel myself like be affiliated with the Black community at Boston College, especially since it feels like there's so few of us at
Hmm.
this like predominantly white institution.
Yeah.
So felt like this year I've been able to reach out to a lot of Black professors, like taking classes with with those Black professors, meeting more Black people, African people from like all different like regions. And I feel like that kind of like networking has like
Yeah.
made it a lot easier to like curate events like the ones I'm making. And yeah, I just feel like that network is growing. And with that, I'll be able to work with more Black led groups to kind of, yeah, to just keep going. Yeah.
That's good. I'm happy for you that you have that.
Thank you.
Um, so is there anything else you wanted to touch on, like anything you want to let your listeners or like the readers know about your upcoming album?
No, if you're a wanderer, if you're a traveler, please listen. I recommend don't listen and drive though. That's dangerous.
Yeah, of course.
Oh,
Um,
that was
yeah.
corny. Yeah,
I'll make sure to direct quote that in the article that I'm writing. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. But I just want to say thank you so much for your time, and I'm excited to see you make more songs, and I wish you the best on your musical journey.
Thank you so much, Anjali.
Of
Am I
course.
saying right your name, brother?
It's Angeli.
Anjali? Okay,
Yes. Yeah. It's okay. Don't worry about it.
got it.
But yeah, have a good weekend.
Thank you so much. I
You're
appreciate
welcome.
you.
Of course.
All
Bye.
right, bye.